Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, hi, Alan. Alan goes everywhere I go. That just basically is what happened. Anyway, glad you're here. I am so honored to be able to be here today, and it's an honor to be asked to be a part of this celebration. And it's kind of weird coming back here to York College because for the last, 6 or 7 years, we've had one of our kids here as a student here at York. And they're not here anymore, so I don't have as many opportunities to come back. It's so good to see all of you here. And those of you who are a little worried about, your schooling and your tests and everything, there's life after college. I mean, both our kids, Kristen and Carson, they both have real jobs, and they're getting real paychecks, and they have real benefits, and they haven't been in jail yet. Seems like things are working pretty well for us. So there's great things ahead of you after you leave here this morning. But seriously, we love, my wife and I and our family, we love this place. And we love the great experience that York gives students, and the great experience and the great community that is here. And also want to let you know that I'm a minister at Heartlands Church in Lincoln, as a lot of you know, but just kind of an invitation. We are in a new facility now, so we have two services. One's at 8:30 and one's at 11. So, that 11 o'clock's a little bit later. If you want to come, that'd be great. If you need to, spend a weekend shopping in Lincoln, someplace other than Walmart, you can come to Lincoln. That's supposed to be funny. That's the best I got today. Won't get any better than that. But if you need to come to Lincoln sometime, come. We have 11 o'clock service. We'd love for you to be there. I'd like you to participate with me this morning. On the count of 3, I'd like you to snap your finger. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Do it again. 1, 2, 3. One more time. In a moment, in the time it takes to snap your finger, everything can change. Your life can change. Everything, for better or for worse, can happen in just a moment. History can change in a moment. And eternity can change in a moment. This really hit me, several years ago as I was watching this movie called The Impossible. I don't know if you saw it. It starred Naomi Watts, and it was a story of this family survival of the deadly tsunami in Sumatra, Indonesia, on December 26, 2004. And the thing that was just amazing to me about that movie, because the movie is all about this family surviving this terrible tragedy, but before the tsunami comes, it's just amazing how typical the life was and how simple it was. They were on vacation, and there was this resort area. And right before the tsunami came, the part of the family was at the pool. So you just imagine, here they are at the pool on December 26th, just enjoying the most relaxing vacation they could ever have. And then just in a moment, in an instant, the tsunami came and everything changed. In 1833, William Wilberforce after fighting a 26-year battle in Great Britain to end slavery. And he fought for it for 26 years in Great Britain and all the United Kingdom to bring the dehumanizing practice of human slavery to an end. And it finally happened. The Slavery Abolition Act was passed at midnight, July 26, 1833. But can you imagine what it was like at 11:59? 11:59, July 26, 1833. Over 800,000 slaves all across Great Britain and the United Kingdom, all around the world. At 11:59, they were slaves. They were property. And then in just a moment, in an instant, they were all free. Everything changed. There's great power in a moment. There's great power in an instant. And all of us have great moments that have happened to us, or something that's caused a great change in our life in just a moment. I'm thinking about my life. When my wife and I got married back in 1985, whenever I said the words "I do," everything changed. Boom, right? Everything changed. The birth of our children, especially the birth of our oldest child, the first time we ever had a child, we're kind of living with ourselves, and then all of a sudden, here came this child, and then the birth of our child in an instant, it happened. For a man, it's an instant, right? But for a woman, that's not a snap, right? It's a lot of snaps to that thing. But for a man, it's like, man, in an instant, everything changed. Everything changed. I think about Maybe some of you have had these words said to you. You have cancer. Everything's changed. Or you're cancer-free. Everything's changed. How about you've got the job? Everything's changed. How about you didn't get the job? Everything's changed. What if you're like a guy that's a student at your college and you like a girl and you've been really like playing the game really well? I don't know what that game is now. I don't understand it. But you're playing it well. You're not going too fast. You're not going too slow. I mean, you are playing it just right. You know where they sit, for lunch. You don't call it stalking them, but you know where they walk on campus, right? Am I right, guys? You know what I'm saying? It's like you're playing it right. He says, I know she's going to be in this class, and I come back, and I'm going to and then you start hanging out, right? Start hanging out. We're hanging out more, and you're saying, I'm doing all the right things. This is going to work. This is going to work. And then one day you get a text from her, and you go, oh, this is exciting. You open up the text, and it says, let's just be friends. Boom. It's over, right? In an instant, you work for 8 months, and it is gone. Now, these moments are significant pivot points. They are decisions, they are things that determine your life and define the course and the direction of your life. And I believe this morning, November 5th, 2014, can be a significant moment in your life. I mean, I really do. I believe in an instant you can make some decisions that will literally change the direction of your life. And what I want to do this morning is I just want to give you 2 decisions that I believe can be the core decisions that can change the direction of your life. Now, there's going to be so many options that you're going to have in your life, and different directions you go, and different places you're going to be, different people, different relationships you will choose. But underneath all of those decisions and all those different things that are going to happen in your life, underneath all of that, there is these 2 core things that we can make a decision today that can basically guide the rest of our lives. And I get them from the life of Jesus, because when I look at the life of Jesus, I look at 2 moments in his life that I believe revolutionized the world. The first moment is found in John chapter 13, as Jesus was discipling his disciples for 3 years. He tried to get them to understand that his kingdom was a little bit different than what they thought the kingdom was. That his kingdom was about humility, and his kingdom was about serving other people. And so in John chapter 13, the last night they would ever be together, what Jesus did is he started to wash their feet. And he took the very nature of a slave and washed the apostles' feet, all 24 feet, including Judas's feet. And he washed every single one of them. And so here they are at the last night, whenever they could be planning and plotting and how to overthrow the religious leaders or overthrow the Roman government. They could have been all these things. But Jesus had them together and said, this is what it's all about. And he says, I want you to love one another just as I have loved you. This is a new command. This is how everyone's going to know you are my disciples, if you love one another. And here's the decision. The first decision is this. The path to greatness is always found in choosing humility and serving others. Humility and serving others. When Jesus did this, it changed everything. It changed how we define our relationships. It changed how we define power and status. All power structures have been diminished. All power-hungry people become nothing compared to being a servant to others. Schools can be changed if their leaders apply this. Marriages can be changed if husbands and wives apply this. Students' lives can be changed if they apply this. If the core decision in your life is that you will practice and choose humility and serving others, your life will begin to look like Jesus, and it will serve you from this day forward. Yeah, your life can change in just a moment. That's one decision. The second decision, we could say, the obvious one, is the cross, when Jesus died for us. And that isn't the decision, but really what I want to do is I want to go back to the decision that was made before the decision on the cross. Well, it was a decision that was made before the cross. And to really understand this, sometimes I think we misunderstand the death of Christ, thinking that Jesus was some sort of victim in his death, and he really had no choice in the matter. But the reality is Jesus specifically chose to die. Jesus made the decision. He turned towards the cross and said, this is God's purpose. I love this passage in Luke chapter 9:51. It's kind of a throwaway passage, but it really gives us the picture of the decision that Jesus made. He says, as the time approached for him to be taken to heaven, Jesus resolutely set out for Jerusalem. I love that because at the very time, this is meaning in the Gospels, Jesus is now making his move toward Jerusalem. He's heading towards his death, and the Bible uses a very specific word. It says he resolutely set himself to go there. I was reading this commentary, and this one guy said that it's an old phrase. It's called, and the phrase is, whenever we set our face like flint towards a purpose. Meaning that we set our face, we set our minds towards something, and nothing will stop us. The stand becomes strong. And what Jesus did is he made the decision. He said, at this point, I'm resolutely setting my face to do God's purpose. And I know there will be opposition. And I know it's going to be difficult. And I know I'm going to die. But I am setting my face like flint towards his purpose. And so that's your second decision that can change your life in an instant. Is resolve to turn your face. To resolve or turn your face towards, to move towards God's purpose. See, there's so many obstacles. I mean, I don't want to scare you too much this morning, but some of you have got really rough lives ahead of you. I mean, you really do. We all do. I think about the decisions that we make and the different things that are going to come along in our life that we have no control over, that are going to be very, very difficult. And I also think about, look at this group here today, all the exciting things that are going to be in front of you. All the things that are going to bring you great joy. In so many circumstances, you will have no decision. I mean, you'll have no choice in the matter. But you can always have this choice, that you will turn your face resolutely to do God's purpose. And in doing that, you set your life for what God wants you to do. The problem with us is that we don't set resolutely towards God's purpose. We let life sweep us away. We let life sweep us away, and we're swept away by life, rather than standing strong and making a decision to follow Christ. So we all have a decision. We will either be swept away by life, or we will set our face towards his purpose. I know a lot of people in difficult spots. I was maybe you're a student here at York, and it's November 5th, and so it's kind of getting crunch time in the semester. Am I right? And some of you, don't raise your hand, please. Some of you may be struggling in a class or two. Don't raise your hand, please. But you may be struggling. And so you're sitting here today and you're saying, how did that happen? How did I get here? Well, you know how it happened. You drifted there. You drifted there. One decision after another. We drift. I was talking to a good friend of mine that's a recovering alcoholic. He's really a struggling alcoholic. One thing he said to me about a month ago, he says, I have no idea how I got in this position. And I said, yeah, you do. You know how you got here. You drifted here. You see, you don't resolutely set your mind towards the things that give you trouble. You drift there. Jesus' mind was resolutely set towards the purpose of God. And that's the one decision that you can always make. Different things will come, different things will go. There'll be great things in your life, there'll be terrible things in your life. But there will always be this decision. Set your face towards his purpose. That's the blessing we have in him. Don't get swept away by life. So there's your two moments that can change your life forever. Choose humility, serving others. Resolve, set your face towards the purposes of God. I really believe every life here can be changed today. Thanks so much for letting me come here today. Thanks for letting me enjoy York College with you. God bless you. Have a fantastic day.